everyone, this is Heba from My Little Journal, and today I'm back setting up my February 2024 in my Passion Planner. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick flip through of January with you. Obviously, I filmed this earlier, so, January's not finished yet for me at the time I'm filming this. So I still have a week to go and I still need to fill out my currently page, which I offer in my Etsy shop. It is a digital printout that you can print and add into your Passion Planner. Now, I will start with my calendar. As always, I'm going to use my craft sticker paper to cover the side column and stamp out the week numbers. Like I've said before, a great way to keep up with your project life. Even though I will not be doing Project Life this year, yes, you heard it here first. I will talk about this later on in a different video, but I'm doing Project Life differently this year. I believe I'm going to be doing it in a planner. I just need easier ways to craft. As you guys know, I do love my journals, and I feel like I even want to switch my Project Life into a journal. So I'm moving on. I'm just going to stamp the week numbers with this bold, big number stamp from Studio Calico. I will use the bottom portion of my calendar to keep up with my reading. Every few books I read, I like to print them out and add them to my space here. I just like that visual of all my books for the month. I'll also stamp an open book. It's a Carrie Bradford stamp set on the side, and I like to just write out how many books I read that month. I am using my Reading with Heba stamp set, which also, you heard it here first. I will be bringing back the stamp set very soon, and it's going to be available in my Etsy shop. Again, I will talk about it in a separate video very soon, but I'm going to bring back that stamp. I love it so much. I've been asked about it so much, so I thought it's time to bring that stamp back. Anyways, once I'm done stamping in that bottom portion of my calendar, I'm going to move on to my weeks. Now, setting up my weeks is always on repeat. There's things that just work for me and I will never change. I feel like I can always add to my setup, but if it's not broke, don't fix it. I really hate my planner to look so different from month to month. In the beginning, you always need to find your style, what works for you in your Passion Planner or your planner, period. But for me, I've been in a Passion Planner. This is my 3rd year, and this is what works. So I just keep with it. I stay with it. And I use the bottom portion where it says Space of Infinite Possibilities to be creative and change it up from week to week. But the setup is always the same, basically, for me. I start by stamping my little boxes in that side column where I keep up with my social media. I draw out the icons for YouTube, Instagram, Reading with Heba, and then I color them in with a gray marker, add drop shadows, and call that done. It's just a good place for me to keep up with my followers and subscribers. Then I'm going to grab my reading stamp and stamp it in that top portion right underneath the days of the week. If you've been around here for a while, you know I love to keep up with my reading. It doesn't matter if it's in my reading journal, in my planner, in my daily journal. I just love to read and I like to keep up with it. And so basically I use that top portion of each day to keep up with reading. And if I read that day, I will highlight it. And if I didn't read that day, I don't. And it's just a great way to see if I've been reading a lot or if I've not been reading a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp reading in that top portion, and then I can move on to the next step of my setup. One thing I'd like to do in my planner is to stamp weekend right in the center of Saturday and Sunday. I don't usually have a lot of plans on the weekend. I don't work on the weekend. And so if something comes up, I still have all that space. So I just like to use this weekend OMG Finally stamp from Everyday Explorers to add in that space. It just fits really nicely. And then I'm going to be using some of my Everyday Explorers affirmation stamps, encouraging words and things like that in that top box where it says this week's focus. Most of the stamps on the stamp sets from Everyday Explorers fit perfectly in that box, and I just have fun with it. I just stamp whatever fits, whatever makes sense, and call it done. I also do like to separate my personal planning from my work planning, and so that's why you'll see here that I use that gray line that goes across the week to write out work, because the top portion is going to be my personal planning and the bottom portion is going to be my work planning. And again, I feel like this is enough space for me to plan out my day or my personal stuff, and it's enough space to plan out my work stuff. I also will be covering up that space where I think it says like to-do list. I use that to keep up with my currentlies, and I'm just using my Posca black marker or pen to cover that title out, and that way I can just go in with a white gel pen and write currently myself. I found that the Posca works really well. Last month I used some washi tape and that worked well, but I couldn't find my black washi anymore. So I decided to use my Posca and it worked perfectly. So I might go back to using my Posca pen and my white gel pen. Anyways, I want to stamp out my currentlies, and you're going to see here that I mess up. I was supposed to stamp that on the right, but I stamped it on the left. So things like that doesn't bother me. It's not like going to be the end of the world. I'm not going to go in and cover it up and change it. It's just a planner. So I'm just going to go with it. I fix it for the next weeks. And for that first week of February, my currentlies are just going to have to stay on the left side. It's not a big deal. I end up stamping a book, a TV, and a little like mailer just to kind of represent what I'm reading, what I'm watching, and any happy mail coming in throughout the week. I do use Everyday Explorer stamps for this. I believe one of the stamps that I'm using is sold out, but the other one is not. I will link whatever I'm using down in the description box for you if it's still available. If it's not in the description box, then they're sold out or they're not available anymore. Anyways, I will also stamp out my little YouTube icon. This just represents when I'm going to be posting videos. And it's funny because when I filmed this, I still had the mindset that I'm going to be posting twice a week, but I thinking about it really hard and decided that I might just start posting once a week. Honestly, I'm not sure yet. This is not 100% like set in stone, but I've really been thinking about it. I do share a lot here on YouTube and on Instagram, and I feel like once a week is plenty. Anyways, I also want to keep up with my thankful section. As you guys know, I've been doing this for the past few months and I've really been enjoying it. So I'm going to keep on doing it. I'm just using a different stamp. This stamp I got recently from Studio Calico, and the shape is much bigger, so I feel like I have more space. I like it and I don't, because I do like that I have more space to write what I'm thankful for that day, and I can still stamp my numbers, but I feel like it's taking up a lot of space, if that makes sense. So we'll see. I'm going to try it in February, and if it works out, I'll keep using this stamp set, and if it doesn't, I'll go back to the older stamp that I was using to, fill in this space. But anyways, I'm using the filler to add some color. And then I'm going to use my old Feature Craft number stamp to stamp out the numbers. I've been asked about this number stamp from Feature Craft. It's not available anymore. That company is not available anymore, so I cannot link it for you. So hopefully someone comes up with something similar to this, but you can definitely use any number stamp to recreate this. Okay, now that I'm done with my big setup, now I can be creative and make some pretty stuff in my space of infinite possibilities. I'm going to start with this stamp set from Close to My Heart, and I'm going to stamp this little dog that looks really tired. And I'm also going to stamp right underneath him, The Struggle is Real. I just love this stamp set because basically this is how we all feel by the end of the month. And to bring in some color, I'm going to color in my little dog. I'm also going to grab a Posca pen and just add some polka dots around him. I really wanted to keep these sections simple as possible, because I don't want my setups to be way too long. So this whole setup, once I'm done filming, I had an hour of footage. And so it was fine. That's not a long time to set up a whole month in your planner. And that's what I like. If it takes me hours, then I lose interest. I'm a fast crafter and I like things to be simple and easy and quick. So it took me an hour. So I think right now we're at 20 minutes or something. That's not bad. But like I said, if it took me longer, I would have given up on this. And that's why you're going to see I keep it pretty simple, still having fun while keeping it simple. I also did forget to add my little sticker over my quotes. And as you guys know, I love using these little booklets. They just have the cutest vellum photos. I do have to trim some of them down just because this booklet is slightly larger, but I like to fill that space out. It brings in some color and it covers up the quote, but you can still read the quote from underneath the vellum stickers. Let's move on. I'm going to be using another Close to My Heart stamp set. It has these light bulbs, and I haven't used the stamp for so long. You're going to see a lot of Close to My Heart stamps in this video just because I haven't been using them as often, and so I wanted to use them to plan out my passion planner. So anyways, I'm going to stamp the light bulbs, and I'm also going to stamp Created to Shine, and I'll grab the little filler and color in my light bulbs. And it looks so simple and so cute. I just love the simplicity of it. It took me a few minutes to stamp out, and I made my page really cute. So I was happy with that one. And like I said earlier, I just didn't want to overthink things. I move on to the next week, where it is Valentine week. Even though I do not celebrate Valentine, it's not a holiday that I care for. The people I love every single day. I show them my love, I give them my love, and vice versa. So I don't feel like Valentine's is like this big deal, but I thought it would be fun to use some of my Valentine stamps. And so I thought I would be stamping that I'm glad we're a match on a label. But I just felt like it would be very blah if I just stamped it on a label and stuck it down. So what I decided to do was grab my Posca pen in this really pretty army green and just color in a big blob. Right now it doesn't look like a blob, but I'll finish it up once I add my stamping and everything. And it's just a simple way to add color and fill in that space. So once I stick my label down, stamp I'm glad we're a match with the little matchstick. It's so cute. I go in and fill in the empty spots and create a big blob. And it actually looked really good. I didn't know how this was going to turn out, but I took the chance. And again, it's just a planner. It doesn't have to be perfect. So if this didn't turn out great, oh well, I'm just going to have to look at it for a week and then I can move on, basically. Anyways, I'm just going to grab my white gel pen and add a few lines to the blob just to give it some depth. So this whole time I've been working backwards in my passion planner. So I basically started with the 4th week of February, and now we're at the 1st week of February, where I decided to go all out because my layouts have been very simple. So I wanted to be more creative for this one. Anyways, I am going to mask off my box, and then I'm going to stamp a title right in the center. And then I'm going to use the stamp set from Close to My Heart to stamp all the icons surrounding my title. I wanted to fill my box with these icons, and I've used to do this a while back in my Archer and Olive daily journal, and I used to love having fun with my stamps, so I kind of missed it and decided to recreate what I used to do today in my passion planner. And I had a lot of fun doing this. Actually, once I'm done stamping, I'm gonna grab my mustard yellow Tombow marker and color in the background so the icons are gonna pop and look really, really cool. I'll even grab my black marker and fill in some of them with black just so they can pop even more. Okay, now I'm done stamping. I can remove the masking tape, which is my favorite part because once you remove the masking tape, it looks so nice and clean, which I love. And I'm just gonna grab my Tombow marker, color in the background. I'll also grab my black Tombow and color in some of the images. And then once I'm done with that, I can call my setup done. Really simple, really pretty. I love every single page in February. I feel like every page kind of tells a story, and it's going to be great when I come in to plan for February and see all the creativity on my spread. Anyways, you guys, don't forget I will be linking everything and anything I shared down in the description box for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.